It's been a couple years, but it's time to run it back. An oldie but a goodie, the best player from every single team in Major League Baseball. Now, I'm not just looking at this current season. We're using 2022, we're using 2023, 2024. We're using everything to determine who the best player is on every team in the league. This is one of the OG videos that originally blew up on my channel, so it's always fun to go back and do it again for a new year. So let's go ahead and find out who the best player is on every team in Major League Baseball right now. For the best player on the Toronto Blue Jays, it's going to be Kevin Gausman, despite the really bad start to the year. You have other great options like Bo Bichette and Vlad Jr., but right now I do think Gausman is the most consistently good player. For the last two seasons where he's been on the Blue Jays, he's just simply been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Finished third in the Cy Young voting in 2023, ninth in 2022, striking out over 200 batters a season, and ERA in the low threes with a FIP in the 2.6, 2.7 range. One of the best K per nines in all of Major League Baseball. A strikeout rate around 30%, walking only 4 to 5% of the batters he faces. While this year has been a struggle, he's turned it around in his last two starts, and I think he still is the best player on this team with the slow starts of the other players as well. For the Cubs, this was actually kind of a tough pick, but I still ended up going with Cody Bellinger. Bellinger really bounced back last year in 2023, where he had 26 homers, 29 doubles, 97 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases while playing great defense out in center field. An 881 OPS put him in the top 10 for MVP votes in the National League. While he's off to a little bit of a slower start, the power seems to be coming around for Cody Bellinger, which is a good sign. He's just a really good all-around player, and on a Cubs team that has a lot of good talent, I think Cody Bellinger rises above the rest right now. For the Oakland A's, we're actually going to go to the bullpen, and it's going to be Mason Miller. He is the best player on this team. A roster that isn't particularly loaded with talent, but if you want someone who is just the best player, it's going to be Mason Miller, even as the closer. The guy throws 103 miles an hour, has disgusting stuff, was good in his first appearance in the majors last year, and this year through 11 innings has a 1.59 ERA, striking out 51% of the batters he's facing. He's basically been untouchable, and I don't care if he's a closer or not. On that team, he is the best player. One of the better closers in the league right now, honestly. Oh, for the Baltimore Orioles, it's a battle between Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, two young stars. But I gotta give the nod to Gunnar Henderson because he has just been a little bit better. Rookie of the Year season last year, finished 8th in MVP voting, 28 homers, 29 doubles, 82 RBIs with 10 stolen bases and 814 OPS. Not too shabby. And he's off to a torrid start in 2024. 8 homers, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 20 RBIs. He stole 5 bases, hitting 309 with a 373 on base, 649 slugging, and a 1022 OPS while playing shortstop. Gunnar Henderson is not just becoming the best player on the Orioles, becoming one of the best players in baseball, truly one of the more talented players in the league. Speaking of one of the more talented players in the league, for the Los Angeles Dodgers right now, the best player is Mookie Betts. Shohei Ohtani, when he pitches, takes that crown. But because Shohei can't pitch, we're giving it to Mookie. And even still, it's a conversation because Mookie is playing out of his mind this year after a strong season last year with the Dodgers. I mean, he's never not been good, but last year finished second in the MVP voting with 39 homers, 40 doubles, 107 RBIs, and a 987 OPS. This year through 27 games, he's basically leading the league in almost every single category. 374 average, 477 on base, 1112 OPS for an OPS plus of 208, 6 homers, 8 doubles, 21 RBIs, 6 stolen bases. What can't this guy do? Oh, and that's while also playing a new position, shortstop, second base. What a freak. Best player on the Philadelphia Phillies between Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, but I gotta give it to Bryce. Harper still is just so good. This guy's never gonna slow down. Mashes at the plate, 5 homers, 4 doubles, 16 RBIs on the season with an 835 OPS. Ever since he's got to the Phillies, he's just pretty much had a great career with the Phillies. It's crazy to think that he's now in his 6th season with this team, almost as many seasons as he played with the Nationals, and you're looking at a guy who has a 927 OPS for his career as a Philly with a 283 average, 394 on base. Absolutely disgusting. One of the nicest swings in baseball. Harper is the correct pick here. For the New York Yankees, the best player on their team is Aaron Judge, who weirdly, happy birthday. It's his birthday on the day I'm recording. Yeah, Judge and Soto, it's a tough battle, but when you look at what Judge has been able to do the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, he just is a little bit better than Juan Soto, especially when you take the defensive aspect in. Now, this year, he is off to a slow start, but I don't really care because in the last 2 seasons, he has an OPS above 1,000. He hit 62 home runs a couple years ago, 37 home runs last year in only 106 games, with, again, an OPS above 1,000 the last 2 seasons. This guy's silly good, and he's a great outfielder, one of the best players in baseball. Where are the Mike Trout haters at now? Mike Trout has shut them up. He looks great, clearly the best player on that awful Angels team. People were starting to doubt Trout, and what did he do? He's hit 10 home runs in 25 games this year. Of course, it's an unsustainable pace, but if you extrapolate that over a full season with this current pace, it's about 65 home runs on the year. Mike Trout's disgusting, 900 OPS, and he's not even getting that many hits outside of home runs. He just is that good. This was an easy pick. For the best player on the Minnesota Twins, it was a little bit tougher, but I went to the pitching side and I went with Pablo Lopez. Now, while Lopez has had a little bit of a slower start to the year, hasn't been as dominant as you would like, there's no one that really jumps off on this Twins team right now as the best player besides Royce Lewis, and we just really haven't seen him play that much because he keeps getting hurt, unfortunately. When healthy, he's my my pick. But right now, I am going to go with Pablo Lopez, who last year was just one of the best pitchers in baseball. 194 innings, a 3.66 ERA, a whip at 1.15, a FIP at 3.33, struck out nearly 30% of the batters he faced, walk only 6%. He's got really good stuff. Again, slow start to the beginning of the year, but I think by the end of the year, you're going to be looking at a Cy Young candidate again. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, I really wanted to put Paul Skeens, but he's not on the team yet. Probably would be the best player as soon as he steps into that clubhouse. Jared Jones is another good pick, but Brian Reynolds has been there, has done that, and he just continues to be a very solid player. Now, Brian Reynolds will never be one of the best players in Major League Baseball, but in terms of this Pirates roster construction, he consistently gives you well above average offense. With a good enough defense out in the outfield, you know what you're getting out of him. You're getting a high average, you're getting a good on-base percentage, a switch hitter who can hit from both sides for some power. May not be the most exciting pick in today's video, but I think he's the clear one right now for the Pirates. For the Tampa Bay Rays, it was tough. I really want to say Isaac Paredes. He's mashed the last season and a half, but again, it has only been a season and a half where we've seen Randy Arozarena since he got to the Tampa Bay Rays just be one of the better left fielders in all of baseball. Since he joined the Rays in 2020, Randy Arozarena is averaging about 20 home runs a season with 80 RBIs, 30 doubles, 800 OPS. Again, none of these numbers jump off the page. Stealing 20 bases a year is also great, but for a Rays team that's a little bit in a weird spot right now, it's either Randy or Isaac, and I'll give it to the guy with more track record. Plus, Randy Arozarena is really cool. How do you not like Randy? For the Kansas City Royals, the best player on their team is Bobby Witt Jr. He has casually become one of my favorite baseball players to watch this season. He can just do it all. He hits the ball hard, plays great defense, runs like the wind. The dude is so incredibly athletic. He broke out last season, finished 7th in the MVP voting, 30 homers, 28 doubles, 11 triples, 49 stolen bases, and he's doing it again this year, hitting 308 with a 357 on base, 915 OPS for an OPS plus at 159. Bobby Witt is him. The St. Louis Cardinals, they kind of stink. I guess I'll still give it to Nolan Arenado because he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and last year was kind of the first year in a while we've seen him really fall off. Granted, he only has 1 home run in 25 games this year, but I genuinely don't know who's a better pick. Like Wilson Contreras, is he better than Nolan Arenado? I'm not so sure just yet to give that crown to him, but I could understand the argument. Arenado still, though, great defensively at third base. I think he's going to turn it around at the plate. He's still hitting for a high average, 295. There's just not that much pop in the bat, which is a little concerning at only 33 years of age. But when things are going right for him, he is a complete player, and last year he did heat up again after a slow start, so I'm thinking the same thing's going to happen for Arenado this year. Now, another player who's having a slow start to the season. It's weird. 1 home run, 5 doubles in 23 games for Acuna is not his norm. Still stealing bases, 11 steals on the year. The average is down, still walking a ton. 407 on base is pretty disgusting, with a 371 slugging, which is weirdly low, but you saw what he did last year. The first player ever to hit 40 homers and steal 70 bases in a season. I think he was the first player to hit 40 homers and steal 60 bases in a season. I think he might even be the first to do 40 and 50. He was breaking records. He won the MVP, and he's clearly the best player on this Braves team still. I don't care about the slow start. Throw some respect on Ketel Marte's name. He's the best player on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I've been banging this drum for years, and we're finally starting to get more recognition on the Ketel Marte hype train, because in 26 games this year, he's been going crazy. 5 homers, 8 doubles, 14 RBIs, hitting 320 with a 373 on base, 544 slugging, and a 917 OPS for an OPS plus at 156. The dude was incredible during their postseason run last year. All he does is get hits, and he came off of a great year last year with 25 homers, 844 OPS. We saw him have that MVP caliber season in 2019. Throw some respect on his name. He's a stud. Ketel Marte. Don't forget it. If Sandy Alcantara was not out for the year, he'd be the Marlins' best player, but because he is, we're going to go with Luis Arraez instead. You guys know I'm not necessarily the biggest Luis Arraez fan, but he does hit for a high average. Despite the crazy slow start to the year, he's still almost hitting 300, which is nuts. I think he started the year like 1 for 15. No power whatsoever, but he does have 5 doubles on the year, 353 on base, 718 OPS gives him an OPS plus at 101. He hit 354 last year, which is just ridiculously high. Finished 8th in the MVP voting. Again, maybe I'm not the biggest believer, but there's no doubt that he is a good baseball player and the best one on the Marlins for sure. Bad team. Oof. I wonder who saw that coming. Who thought the Marlins were going to stink? For my favorite team, the New York Mets, the best player on this team, Francisco Lindor. Lindor had a crazy slow start to the year. I think he started 5 for 59. Since they gave him a standing ovation like the Phillies fans did to Trey Turner, he's been one of the better hitters in baseball, so he's going to turn around. Not concerned. Coming off of a 30-30-30 season last year with Gold Glove defense at shortstop. That's right, 30 homers, 30 doubles, 30 stolen bases. He's just gotten better and better every single year he's been with the Mets. He's just a really, really good player. I don't understand the Lindor hate. I really don't. For the Cleveland Guardians, the best player on their team, it's still going to be Jose Ramirez. J-Ram is disgusting. Now, he's having a weird start to the year. He's only walked twice in 24 games. Not sure what that's all about. But even with that, he still has an OPS plus at 115, which is like weirdly kind of the worst of his career since 2016. But this is a guy who's locked in for a top 10 finish in the MVP voting every single year. He got better at third defensively last last year, steals a ton of bases. He's really good. I don't know what's going on to start the year. It's bizarre. I don't like it. Go back to being the old J-Ram because the old J-Ram's nasty. One of the best players in the league. For the San Diego Padres, their best player, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis had a little bit of a weird year last year. Hot, cold after missing a season for PED suspension, but he's come out in 2024 and he's swinging the bat really well. 6 homers, 3 doubles, 15 RBIs with an 819 OPS for an OPS plus at 134, and he plays phenomenal defense in the outfield. He won the Platinum Glove last year. He used that incredible athleticism to get to balls that most people can't, has a cannon of an arm, and he rakes the plate. He is clearly the best player on this team. Speaking of athletic freaks, the Cincinnati Reds, Elly De La Cruz. This dude is not from this planet. Elly De La Cruz is so good. After what was a disappointing rookie season, a lot of hype, ended up not really being that great last year. At 22 years of age already, Elly De La Cruz is on some crazy pace this year. 25 games, 7 homers, 5 doubles, 18 RBIs with 15 stolen bases, hitting .306 with a .416 on base, .635 slugging, .1051 OPS. He's playing good defense at shortstop. He's got a cannon of an arm. He runs like the wind, hits for power. He's casually becoming one of the better players in the league if he keeps this up. Keeping it in the Central, this time in the American League, the best player on the Detroit Tigers, Tarik Skubal. Skubal has just kind of been nasty, one of the better pitchers in baseball over the last 110 innings that he's thrown. The biggest thing with him has always been injuries. It's been health. Can he stay healthy? And we've seen it now for about half a season, and it's been disgusting. The last 2 years, he's made 20 starts, 110 innings to a 2.54 ERA, a whip at .855, and a FIP at 2.07. Disgusting. He's walking 4.5% of the batters he faces, striking out 32%. He's becoming one of the best pitchers in baseball, right in front of our eyes. Yikes. The Colorado Rockies, their best player, Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon, get him out of Colorado, but also maybe don't, because that's why he's probably this good, but also get him out of Colorado because he could help a team that's trying to actually win, because this Rockies team stinks. Plays good defense at third base despite never winning a Gold Glove. Really good glove over there. This year, he's actually hitting really well to start the year. .306 with a .386 on base, .449 slugging, and an .835 OPS for an OPS plus at 125. And to be honest, guys, there's just not a lot of great options. I love Ezekiel Tovar. He's not there yet. Chris Bryant stinks, and they have no pitching, so it's going to be Ryan McMahon. Oh boy, we're seeing it happen. CJ Abrams, best player on the Washington Nationals. There's never a good way to trade Juan Soto, but at least the Nationals got a player who could be a future multiple-time All-Star here at shortstop with CJ Abrams. The question with him was always going to be about the consistency. Can he consistently hit for average? Can he consistently hit for power? And while it is only a 21-game sample, whoa, CJ Abrams is going crazy. 6 homers, 4 doubles, 3 triples, and 12 RBIs on the season with a .302 average, .362 on base, .628 slugging, and .990 OPS for an OPS plus at 178. I don't think it's going to stay like this for the entire year, but again, on a weaker roster of a team and seeing this kind of talent, these blips where CJ Abrams is great, especially the second half of last year, definitely the best player in Washington right now. Best player for the Seattle Mariners, we're going with J-Rod. He starts slow every single year, so again, not worried about it, because what do you know? 2022 won the Rookie of the Year, finished 7th in MVP voting. Last year, finished 4th in MVP voting. This year, we don't know what happens, but I'm not concerned just yet. Still hitting for high average. Needs to walk a little bit more. He is striking out a bit as well. Those are maybe the only things that are kind of concerning, but the defense plus the power plus the speed, everything that he's got. Julio Rodriguez is a true 5-tool player. Unfortunately for the Chicago White Sox, the best player on their team is hurt. Luis Robert Jr., who is also a 5-tool player. Robert last year casually, 38 homers, 36 doubles, 20 stolen bases, playing Gold Glove caliber defense in center field, .857 OPS. That was the first time he played over 100 games in his career. Another guy who injuries have just decimated, and he's only played in 7 games this year, but the White Sox are so terrible, I actually don't know who else to pick. They don't have any other really good players, so I'm going to take the guy who's only played 7 games this season and just say, yep, clearly the best player. It's not even close. Ooh, this was a complete accident. The Red Sox are up next. Best player for them, Rafael Devers. Devers just consistently has mashed ever since he's gotten called up. Since 2019, you're looking at a guy who averages 30 home runs a year with 40 doubles, an OPS near 900, 287 average, 350 on base. His defense is horrible at third base. We know that. It's getting better. Still stinks, but you don't care when Rafael Devers is putting up 30 homers, 40 doubles, 100 RBIs every single year. But don't sleep on Tristan Casas. He's been really good too. For the Milwaukee Brewers, I'm picking Christian Yelich, who is also currently on the IL right now, but it seems like Christian Yelich might be back. Again, incredibly small sample, but in 11 games, he hit 5 home runs for the Brewers to start the year, and that's coming off of last year where he low-key had a good season. 124 OPS plus, 19 homers, 34 doubles, 28 stolen bases, an OPS at 818. I don't know if we're ever going to see him reach the highs of the MVP years, where in 2018 and 19 he had an OPS above 1,000, but Yelich was doing stuff to start the year that makes me think he's going to be closer to that level rather than the replacement level offensive player in 2021. For the Texas Rangers, the best player on that roster, Corey Seager. Corey Seager last year should have won the MVP, but a guy named Shohei Ohtani existed, so that's not really possible, because in 119 games, he hit 33 homers, 42 doubles, and 96 RBIs with a 1013 OPS. Like, imagine having that year and they go, not the best player in the league. Sorry, there's a guy who pitches and hits. Not sure if you're familiar with him. But as for Corey Seager to start the year, slow start. Didn't get a lot in spring training. I'm kind of attributing that to the just late spring that he got started with. But obviously at the plate, one of the best hitters in the league. Pretty good at shortstop. Huge reason why the Rangers won the World Series last year. Two-time World Series MVP. Steps up in big moments too. For the penultimate player in today's video, we're keeping it out west with the San Francisco Giants, and their best players on the pitching side, it's obviously Logan Webb. Logan Webb is just maybe one of the most underrated pitchers in the league. I saw MLB.com put out an aces ranking, and he was not in the top 10, which is insane. Since 2021, Logan Webb has a 3.02 ERA, over 600 innings, a whip at 1.112, a FIP at 2.98. He doesn't strike out that many batters because he's a soft contact ground ball pitcher, but still, a K rate right around 20%, doesn't walk guys. You just don't score runs off of Logan Webb. He's really good. One of the better pitchers in baseball, definitely best player on the Giants. And then for the final team, we've got the Houston Astros, and it was tough. Yordan, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve. Ended up going with Kyle Tucker. He's playing so well this year. He played so well last year. He's a 30-30-30 guy as well. He was one home run off of that last year. OPS is in the 800s pretty much every single season. Won a Gold Glove back in 2022. Great athlete. Obviously runs the base as well. Hits for power. Does everything you want out of a baseball player. Kyle Tucker's a stud. It's so tough because Altuve's amazing and so is Yordan, but I'm going to lean Kyle Tucker right now. You can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree on that. So there they are, the best player from every team in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know who you guys think is the best player from every team down in the comment section below. Who did I get wrong? Who did I miss? Let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content. Follow me on my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description, and that's where I'll wrap it up today. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all on another video. Bye.